Thank you for tuning in. You are now tuned into Difficult People Chronicles. I'm Seriously Focused Johnnie, SF Johnnie. Today's episode is a question. When are you a threat? So everybody else, their answer was all materials. Like when you buy a house, when you buy a car, when you get married and all this other stuff. And I said it only boils down to one answer, and that would be when your mindset changes. Because when your mindset changes, you overreach yourself. Meaning you start to work on your goals and living a better lifestyle. Things of your past no longer interest you. You start working on peace and love. When your mindset changes, anything can happen. When I was broken, I believed a lot of stupidness. I tolerated a lot. I would give passes. I saw some men having value, like a man of value that people are always talking about in social media. And then once I worked on me, God started to do work on me. He would be talking to me more and more about different things that I needed to do in my life to get my life right. With other people, I saw lies. I saw the wrongs that could never be right. I saw people being two-faced. My attention wasn't there anymore in certain circles. And even though a lot of people claim that they weren't playing games, they were playing games. With me, I felt like something inside of me was changing. With them, they just got exposed. Like God started pulling covers off of people, left and right. My situations went from bad to worse. And as time went on, I no longer tolerated foolishness. It's like people around me became vampires. They were zapping my energy. And I no longer gave passes. I didn't have anything to give. I couldn't give people even a glass of water. Because I was all used up. One guy, like I said some time ago, he said, "I love who you used to be." And I was like, yeah. Because before I got a new prescription, I couldn't see. Now, you become a threat when your mindset changes. You do things differently. You start working on your value. Not from the public's perspective, but from God's perspective. See, you ever notice when you're below the bar or over the bar, the public will still judge you. But God immediately will tell you where you at and help you get it right. Meaning that, like if it's a sickness, all of a sudden you end up in the hospital. And then the next day, you at the gym, you eating berries, walnuts, and cantaloupe. You got your whole diet list. You on keto. You really trying to work on you. That's because you're no longer thinking about what the public thinks. You're working on you, bringing up your value. When I was below the bar, meaning I did the same thing every day, people knew where I was. I was at the gym 6 p.m. During the week after work, I was home. I was okay, doing nothing. I was just not working on doing anything. And at the time, I felt like this is it. Like this is just what it's supposed to be. When I started to do things, people started acting funny, comparing their life to mine. Oh, I can't afford that. Oh, you can't afford that. Oh, that's too expensive. Oh, you're going to be in debt. It was like everything negative. Some tried to tear down my spirit just so I could stop with whatever ideas I had. And once I finished the first phase, I started working on the second phase. Why? Because it was interesting to me. And it gave me something to do. And I actually enjoyed things that I was doing. And they stopped talking to me. How I know is because when I called them, they pushed me to voicemail. When I started to see them roundabout, they avoided me. And it hurt. But it hurt them too. Because it hurt them to see me winning and leveling up. See, there's always a time to grow up in life. But it's unfortunate that some people like to be kids. Once I healed, all that went out the door. That kid foolishness went out the door. When you become a threat to people in your past, you'll start to meet new people. They'll start coming in your life. And the old ones, well, some of them will either rock with you. Some will try to tear you down or pretend you don't exist. Why? Because you are the person that brings out their insecurities. I'm going to say this again. They will try to tear you down or they will pretend you don't exist. Why? Because you are that person that brings out their insecurities. And another thing is, some people will see you as a threat before you even start working on yourself. Why? Because you have a strong personality and no nonsense, drive and determination. And once all that gets activated, they start feeling some kind of way, all stuck in their feelings. It's like, I would say like 2 years ago, there was this guy. In the beginning, I didn't know who he was. In the beginning, I kind of respected him. I didn't put him on a platform or anything, but I respected his position. And when I heard he was talking about me, he said I was bougie. I wasn't bougie. And I'm not bougie now. I guess he would say I was bougie because I put my clothes in the dryer on wrinkle free. And then when I take it out, I put it on a hanger and put it in my closet. He said I had no friends. I have friends. I like to keep some of my friends separate from each other. Call it what it is. Because some of my friends I have, they are geeks. Some are, straight crazy. Some, their personalities might clash. Some people live in different states. Some people I see on weekends, some during the week, and some they just pop up. But for him, the verdict was still out. So he didn't really see my friends because it was something about him I wasn't feeling. He said I was mean. People that know me know I'm not mean. I am mean though if you piss me off. But I'm a nice-hearted person. And when I go to certain functions or gatherings, I'm not one of those people that, I'm an introvert. So I'm not going to go to the party and be like, oh my God, I'm here. That's not me. I'm not going to be stuck up either. He said that I think I intimidate people. We never had that conversation, ever. Our conversation never lasted long enough to talk all about me. So I don't know where he got all this information from. And the whole time, God told me it was him. I started to see some things in him. Like he was two-faced, good and evil, hot and cold. And he felt I intimidated him because he had some insecurities he needed to work on. So because he was so insecure, stuck in his feelings, and felt that I was a threat, when it came to certain situations, he created roadblocks. He talked about me like a dog. He laughed about me behind the scenes. And one thing I tell people all the time, be careful what you do to people, because God sees all. And in the end, God manhandled him in the worst way. See, in the beginning, he was the type not to want other people to succeed. I became a threat to him when he realized and saw that my thought pattern was different. I didn't chase him. I didn't believe everything he was saying to me. And I wasn't a yes ma'am, no ma'am. And that was something that he didn't like. I wasn't rude. I just wasn't a yes ma'am, no ma'am. That's just the way he is. Like, people see him and it was just like, I don't know. They probably saw him as higher than themselves. And I just saw him as a human being. So to him, I became a threat. And being a threat doesn't always have to equate to money. Some people have these distorted thoughts in their head, and it just creates a monster. My advice to you all is, regardless of the people around you, that even those that you suspect, and I'm talking about the people that would say one thing out one side of their mouth and talk something else out the other side of their mouth. Like, one minute they sound like they support you, but then for some reason you feel like they really don't. Don't worry about them. Work on you, change your mindset, overreach yourself, meaning go beyond the status quo of what you would normally be doing. And never mind about them. Because if they see you as a threat, now you're going to always be a threat. Even when you ain't doing anything, you're going to be a threat. It's just their insecurities. So that's it for today. For a one-on-one session, hit me up. Check out my store. Check me out on YouTube. Check me out on Facebook. Have a blessed one. Stay safe. Later.